before, and you keep moving it.
Make sure when it's blinking, it's muted. So right now you're muted. Now you're live.
What's up, cave dwellers? Who's in here? Who do we got in here? Anybody? Nobody wants to step up. Okay. Well, tonight we're going to talk about not getting caught out on the road or anywhere else for that matter. Out on the road by yourself or with your family in the cold. And this could apply in the other direction as well. When it gets warmer out, just take the list of things that we go over and just adjust them for hot weather instead of cold weather. But what we're going to go over right now is how to make sure that if you get caught out on the road for any kind of circumstance, you're prepared and ready and can survive it. So basically winter car essentials. So what's up, Spider? Howdy, howdy. So lots of things could put you in a situation. Even the best preparer can get caught with their pants down. What's up, Dusty? How are you? Hi, G7. So you don't want to be caught in that kind of predicament. And it's so easy because I've seen it happen. I've had it happen. True story. In Germany, we were on a really long trip in the mountains, and we got to a place where, and this is the Autobahn, guys, so everybody is like traveling at like redonkulous speeds. Amazing fun. I enjoyed every second of that. But when an accident happens, they're not messing around. When they get in an accident on the Autobahn, the entire highway shuts down because they're bringing out trucks and helicopters and all kinds of stuff to scrape whatever's left of that accident off the road so that you can keep going, because there's usually no survivors and it's pretty gruesome. So you're not going anywhere. Both sides of traffic get shut down. And that's what happened to my family. So here we were in the BMW sitting on this mountain road with nothing to do for hours. I am not joking when I tell you people shut their cars off, pulled out folding card tables, and people from cars that they didn't even know were all sitting around these card tables and playing board games and cards and eating, and like you would think it was a planned picnic or party right here on the highway, and everybody's stuff was just shut down. It was insanity. However, that experience has stuck with me for the rest of my life. And everybody thinks I'm nuts, but I carry an essential bag in all my cars. So we're going to talk about that because, hi girls, because I feel like maybe not as severe as a situation, but those situations can happen. Andy and I were on a trip. Baby, where were we going? When that fire happened and we got stuck and we had to go backwards.
Ohio.
We were going to Ohio. So a trip we make often. It's about a 6-hour drive. We didn't get an hour out of Jersey. And there was a huge fire. We literally had to shut the car off. We were sitting in traffic in the Panther doing nothing. and we had nothing to do. So, I mean, the best thing we could do was get out and like wipe the car off because that's the only thing we had in the car was stuff to clean the car. So, this is the kind of situation that you can find yourself in, and that was good weather. So, if you find yourself in this kind of situation and it's 8 degrees out or worse, then what? So, what I want to go over with you guys is things that you can do so that if you end up in any of these kinds of situations, you are, what's up, Jan? How are you doing? How's Texas? You are ready, not only to entertain yourself, entertain your children, your animal, your guests in your car, whatever your cargo is, whatever your situation is, you are ready. So, um, let's talk about some of the things that you can have in your car that are easy to store. Like I said, I have like a crazy bag that I just keep, and most of this stuff that that isn't like car stuff is in that bag. It's a backpack, and then I have a first aid backpack and all kinds of stuff underneath the seat of my truck for every other thing that could happen to somebody, or not even to myself, but to other people if I need to pull somebody out of somewhere. You all know I used to have a Jeep Gladiator, so I've got all the paraphernalia that goes along with that. Um, but um, I still have all the straps and the stuff to get people out of trouble if I need to pull somebody out of somewhere. So, some of the things that I noted that I have in my vehicle, a snow and ice brush. We all typically carry those, right? So, a snow and ice brush for the colder weather, that has the scraper on it and the brush, so you can get it off the whole car. Because you may walk out and it might have a little bit of snow on it. You may walk out and you might not be able to find out which car is yours. So be ready. Some of the cool, fun things. Mama Garcia got me this. I want to say for like Valentine's Day or something. Um, she got me this blanket that plugs into the cigarette lighter in my car. It's a little heated blanket that plugs into my car. I have blankets all up in my car, but this particular blanket plugs in to the cigarette lighter. And so you may not be in a situation where your cigarette lighter would be working. You might not. But this is a cool blanket to have. And I do, it's in my car.
And make sure you know where the cigarette lighter is, because now a lot of these new cars don't have one.
I don't know if you could hear Andy, but he's plugging in his 2 cents to know where your cigarette lighter is, because a lot of cars don't have them. So before you go buy that kind of item, um, or like the cups that plug in and those kind of things, make sure you have a cigarette lighter. Because, as he said, some cars are being produced now without them. I do have one. It is in the like glove thing, so the center console. So, portable tire traction mats. I don't know if anybody has ever seen these. I don't know if you live in cold weather areas where that would be something that you would need to carry around with you, but portable tire traction mats are awesome. They roll up into this little bag, you roll them out, stick them underneath your tires, and you're not digging yourself in. I don't know if they work real good in mud. They might, but I know they work in snow and ice, and they'll get you out of wherever you're at um, quickly. So, kind of a cool thing to have. Um, I can tell you this: if you have used them 3 or 4 times, you might have to replace them because you can like tear them up real easy, really fast, depending on how long it took you to get out of your situation with them. So they do get kind of worn out quickly, and they're not that expensive. So you can buy another bag and replace them. Okay, so good thing to have in the car. Um, if you're in a super crazy, icy, snowy area, chains, obviously. Um, Andy and I swear by these little machines, but we have this, and you can get it all in one or you can get them separated. But we have a portable car jumper that we've jumped our cars and everybody else's cars with them. That thing has been like used more than a whore. So that is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing to have. They're anywhere from $100 to $500. You can go get some super fancy ones. There's some that have the other thing that I'm telling you to go get, and that's a portable compressor. So if you have to, and this is a, like, this comes from being in the Jeep world, or racing. If you race, you probably have one of these as well. If you have to take the air out of your tires, which I have a deflator too, um, you're going to find yourself in a position where you have to put air in the tires. So we have a deflator and an inflator, but you can also get the jump starter and the compressor, and it's a flashlight and it's all kind of stuff. You can, if you want to put out some money, you can get all of that in one. Ours are separate, but um, those are nice things to have in the car. A power inverter is also another thing that is really nice. And what that is, for those of you who don't know what that does, is it plugs into the cigarette lighter in your car and allows you to plug in a normal plug that you would plug into an outlet in your house. I think that's a 20 volt. Um, so your kids can plug in their computers, you can plug in your electronics. There's all kinds of different things that you can plug into those. They make them even with phone holes to put your phone in, so you can plug your phone in, your phone cables, USB ports. So that's a nice thing to have in your car. We also have those in our cars. Um, a roadside emergency kit, and I've noticed that a lot of people have started listing a lot of that stuff um, already that I keep in my emergency roadside kit. So my backpack, my bright red backpack with the white cross on it, has a bunch of this stuff in it. Um, it has, well, there's 2 packs in my car. There's an orange one that has triangles, jumper cables, just in case you have to jump a car to a car, which we barely there. I think they're still in the plastic because we use the jump box more than we use the cables. But you might find yourself in a position where you do need the cables. Um, first aid kit, a collapsible shovel, one of the like military type things where the handle opens up like this, and then you have the shovel on one end and the handle on the other, and it's 3 pieces. A glass breaker. You might find yourself in an accident or some crazy thing like that, and you need to break glass to get out of the car or into somebody else's to get them out. Tools, just a little general toolkit. We have a huge, my big pink thing that I carry around if we're going on a long trip, but just day to day, just general tools, just stuff that'll get you out of a bind. Um, medications. And I'm not talking go crazy, just go to the little travel section and get little, either the little travel containers or just buy the meds in the little tiny small containers, and just keep like aspirin, the things that could come up. Um, all the little things, antacids, all those little tiny things. I keep all that stuff in there. I can take care of you if you have cramps, a headache, you're bleeding, whatever. It's in there. I can take care of you. A safety vest, one of those bright safety vests. If you're on the road at night or whatever, you're on the highway, busy highway, you want to be seen. You don't want somebody running you over while you're on the side of the road. Any kind of tie downs, straps, rope, bungee cords, any of those kinds of webbing straps, whatever, just ratchet straps, any of those kind of things. I collect those when I see them go on sale. Oh, look, that's a nice price for that, and I'll buy one and I'll put it in one of the cars, and just you can just never have enough of that kind of stuff. Gloves, either gloves that you can work in, or if it's cold out, gloves that you can stay warm with. A flashlight. I carry a huge mag light. I should have brought that in to show you guys. It's got to be like this big. It was given to me by a friend years and years and years and years ago. Her dad gave them to us as weapons. So they were dual purpose because we were always out and about by ourselves. So he gave them to us to keep right in our doors to be able to light things up if we needed to. And they weigh a ton, and to use it against somebody if they were coming after us. So super awesome to have in the car. It's a big, huge, heavy mag light. They make them all light and nice and what no. Go if you're female and you're out by yourself, go get you one of the big original heavy 5-pound mag lights, because if you need to use it against somebody to protect yourself, it may give you a couple of minutes to save your life. Wipies. Wipies are awesome. It's a bath in a bottle. Gotta love that. So get you some wipies. Keep an eye on those because they have a tendency to dry out. You can usually just add water to them and they'll fluff back up for you. Water. Keep some water in your car. You can get water in little foil packs, or you can keep bottles of water. You can do it any way you want to, but there's different ways that you can keep water in your car so that you have drinks. There are energy drinks and all kinds of stuff like that that you can keep. I like to just stay like flat out water. And when I had the kids, I kept like the little drink sleeves, the little tiny drink sleeves where you crack it open and put it in the drink, or one of the ones that now you can get the ones where you squeeze and the liquid comes out. You can keep those in there too. I keep one of those in my truck. So if you've got, you know, water and you want to make it not water, you can. Food. I saw somebody put on here snacks. You definitely, if you're taking off on a trip, you definitely want to pack some snacks and put them in there so that you have snacks for everybody in the car. Don't forget your pets. If you're traveling with your pets, make sure that there's a baggie of food in there for them. That way, if you get stuck somewhere and your 6-hour drive becomes a 12-hour drive and you're now into their eating time and you didn't expect to be, then you have food for them as well. Always keep snacks and food and stuff like that that can hold everybody in your car over for an extended period of time, to either A, get to someplace with food, or B, have somebody get to you. Because, like I said, you could get stuck in a traffic situation where traffic cannot go forward and it cannot go backwards. So you're sitting there with card tables playing with people in cars near you. De-icer. We have these cool, cute little, they look like Banaka spray cans, but when you open it, it has a little nozzle in it. You can stick that inside. I was introduced to this when I was doing storage. You can stick that inside the lock of your car if for some reason, or any kind of lock that you need to get into because you can't get into it. Anything that freezes like that, you can stick that in there and you just press and it squirts de-icer into the lock and not all over everything else. And it will help you get into whatever you need to get into. So that's a nice thing to carry with you. Super inexpensive. I think we gave some of those away in the beginning of Camaro Cave. Batteries. If you have anything in the car that takes batteries, radios, flashlights, kids' toys, any of that kind of stuff, make sure you have extra batteries on hand. Rags, paper towels, things to clean up a mess, wipe up an injury, clean up a spill in the car. Just keep those in there as well. You might need it to wipe a windshield or anything. Just keep them in there. I'm a firm believer of if you can't fix it, duck it. And if you can't duck it, zip it. So keep you a roll of duct tape. I have a bright pink roll in my Camaro. It's amazing. And zip ties. Because pretty much everything on your vehicle can either be duct taped or zip tied back to it. And if it can't, leave it behind, go get another one. And those will, I mean, duct tape and zip ties, seriously, I could have that and I could probably get through anything. right? So keep those in your care kit. Um, I also keep electrical tape. uh, that I just do. That is what it is. So other things to keep, charger cords. I have charger cords in there that I pull out every now and then when I clean the car and like clean out the glove box and stuff. And I'm like, what in the heck did this go to? I have no clue what it went to, but I leave it in there anyways because somebody might jump into my car one day and be like, hey, I need a charger. Do you have a charger that goes? Oh, you know what? I do. I haven't used it in 3 years, but I do. We have this cool thing that's on our Camaro keychains that has every type of charger you could possibly want. It even says Camaro on it. It has every single kind of charger you want on it. And then one end plugs into something else. I think Andy's going to get it. So that's kind of a cool thing to keep. This. See, it says Chevy, not Camaro, but it's got 4 different types of, so you can plug this into a USB and plug this into whatever you've got, or plug this into something and plug that. Plug this and that. Plug whatever you want or wherever you want. It all will go into here and come out the other end, and there's my key to baggie. So the thing is awesome, and it's on this cool little clip. So it just clips to whatever you've got, your belt, your keys, whatever. So and then you don't have like long feet worth of cables. So you can power something up really quick if you need to. Dry socks. Ladies, okay, I'm probably excluded from this except for once in a blue moon. I might step out of here in some stupid shoes, but not very often do I step out of here in stupid shoes. I'm usually in some kind of boot or crazy reasonable shoe. But ladies, mostly ladies, we are going to probably step out of here in some crazy non-workable shoe if we had to go walking or anything in cold weather or even good weather for that matter, that we could not go more than 5 feet away from the car before we were like dying. So, ladies, warm socks and some kind of reasonable footwear in your car. Um, I actually keep work boots in my car. I'm usually wearing some kind of boot anyways, but in the off case that I'm not, there are work boots in my car. So if I have to get myself into some mud or some crazy stuff, I take my nice boots off and put the work boots on, or take my high heels off if I'm wearing them. So I can actually walk somewhere if I need to, or, get under my car and do whatever. Um, Ladies, if skirts and nice kind of clothes like that are something that you always wear, get yourself a pair of those overalls, the ones with the long sleeves and everything that you see in the garage. Get yourself a pair of those and keep them, because you can throw your whole dress and everything else that you're wearing right into that, zip it up, and not only will it keep you warm, but if you have to get underneath your car for some reason, it'll also protect what you were wearing and not have your whole business out to the entire highway. Nothing like being underneath your car and all your business is like pointed out to everybody else driving by. That's got to be great, right? Somebody is going to get that and put it out on Instagram or Facebook or whatever they do. Yep, like a racing jumpsuit, a Carhartt jumpsuit, anything like that. Those are amazing, and you can get them fairly lightweight. Mine is really not, because mine was for cold weather, but you can get them fairly lightweight so that they roll up and fit in underneath your car. What else? Oh, here's a good one. How many of you, I know we're all guilty of doing this, how many of you just run out of the house? It's 10 degrees out, maybe 9 degrees out right now. You see how I'm dressed in the house? How many of you will run out of the house, go to the car, and just be like, I'm just going up the street real quick to grab this, or I'm just going up the street real quick to pick up the kids or grab some gas or whatever. And you just go out like this. It's going to take me that long to get to the car. It's going to take me that long to get inside. It's going to take me that long to get back to my car and that long to get back into my house. I'm never going to be outside very long. Or go through the drive-through, exactly. And in Jersey, we don't even pump our own gas. So, if you have to just go fill up real quick, you don't even have to get out of your car for that. Okay? So, most accidents happen within 2 miles of your home. What happens if in that quick trip you make down the street, somebody plows into the side of you, or your car stops working, or just any number of things, and you have to get out of the car, or the car just won't produce heat because of whatever was happening, and now you're dressed like this, and it's 8 degrees, and you have nothing. Don't ever put the kids in the car, don't ever put yourself in the car without being dressed to be outside the car if you have to be outside the car. Even if your intention is to not be outside the car, be ready to be outside the car just in case. You never know. You never know. So always be prepared. And just don't be that parent that just grabs your kids in their pajamas and throws them in a car seat and just is like, God, we just have to go do this, whatever. No, make sure your kid is ready for that too, because your kid can't take that 9-degree weather any more than you want to, or your dog. So be ready for whatever could possibly happen to you. The car is not a house. It can not provide the shelter that you need. Or can. I mean, it's obviously better to be in the car than not in the car, but that car can turn into a refrigerator outside just as fast as it can turn into an oven in the summer. It's a killer either way. So just be prepared. Don't be that person that's out there in your house shoes. Just don't be that person. It's not cute. Something in my throat. So another thing to keep in, there's usually a deck of cards in my car just all the time. It's just always in there. But if I know that I'm going on a long trip, I might actually put a little bit further in there. I might put a different kind of game or something in there that if I knew we were going to be on the side of the road for a while that we could play, especially if we have kids in the car, definitely putting something in there aside from the electronics, because if you're out there long enough, the electronics might die and you may not have a way to recharge their electronics. And so you may have to resort to entertaining the people in your vehicle without the aid of any kind of electronic devices. So you can throw a quick game in there. Um, I tend to like card type games because they're compact and small and they can fit in the car very easily. So, Uno, Skippo, any of those kind of things. There's all kinds of, if you go to the toy store, there's walls of games that are in those card size boxes. They may not necessarily be cards, but you can find something. And usually a deck of cards you can do all kinds of things with, even down to memory and matching games with kids with them. So good way to get through. Let's see. I'm going to read a few comments real quick. Scissors, Jan, that's a good one. Scissors, a knife, some kind of I have a utility knife in all my vehicles. That you open it up and it has all kinds of different stuff and then it folds back up. It's got like pliers and some of them have glass breakers. They'll cut through your seatbelt. There's all kinds of stuff in these. Screwdrivers, a jagged ended knife, a smooth knife. It's like a little pocket knife, but it's bigger. It's like a utility tool, and it's usually in a little pack like this. The box cutter. Yeah, box cutter will work too. Those work amazingly on all kinds of stuff. Um, Coloring books, you'd be amazed, and I know as an adult, you're like, "What coloring books? Come on now." Okay, a coloring book can keep you busy and keep a child busy for quite some time, and they make adult coloring books. Some great adult coloring books. They're super fun. They're super calming too. So, coloring books because they fit nicely, they're flat, so are color pencils. They fit underneath the seat, in the back of a seat pocket. They're easy to transport. So, let's see. What else? What else? You guys tell me, what else do you guys keep in your vehicles to help you in those kinds of situations? Obviously, insurance and registration. We drive Camaros. We all need to have that on us. License, insurance, and registration. Winter is definitely different than summer. They are both deadly. Um, but a lot of the things that you keep in the car during the winter can come out of the car, and summer stuff can go in. Wow, David, you carry an impact gun? That's crazy. That would come in handy. I'm over here trying to put my whole ass body weight into my four-way tire iron, trying to get my tires off. David's over here all yeah, no, that's not me. I do travel on long trips with a full, huge pink metal toolbox. I I don't think Andy and I have ever not opened that box and not found what we needed, right, baby? Yeah, I don't think we've ever not, and if we have not found what we needed, it was because we took it out and put it in one of the other cars and forgot to put it back. And when you buy your tools, know your vehicle because some vehicles are metric and some are not. So be careful to make sure that whatever the tools are that you're keeping in each one of your vehicles is for that vehicle. Um, so Camaros take 10 millimeter and 7 millimeter almost everywhere. There's a couple of others in other places that you probably would never really need to get to. But for the most part, a 10 and 7 millimeter is going to get your Camaro torn apart for you. So I have lots of 7 millimeter and 10 millimeter attachments in all the Camaros because we lose those a lot because we use them the most. And you just never know, you might strip one out or some crazy thing. So we just have lots of those and they're spread through all the Camaros. Half inch tire wrench. Oh, yeah, Jan, that's smart. You know what? I don't have anything in any of my cars that would start a fire. That is probably a smart idea to keep matches, fireproof matches, or I do have a lighter. I take that back. I do have a lighter in my toolbox. I have one of those long, clicky lighters. So I could start a fire, I guess, if I needed to. Don't have any barbecue lighter. But yes, something that you can start fire with. That would probably be a decent thing to have, especially in the cold months. Yep, T15 also. Absolutely. Small shovel, yep, we talked about that. One of the ones that folds, because you never know when you're gonna have to dig your tires out or whatever. I've actually had to use mine a few times. And depending on how your vehicle is set up, that green gook that you can put in your tires to get you down the road a little bit, That is something that you could keep in the car. I think most of the newer Camaros use that, and I think there is actually a whole kit that shoots it into your tires and stuff underneath there. Mine came with a well, it didn't come with, but I ordered my car, my Camaro, my 2010 with, um, a full-size spare. So, if I have to change the Camaro tire, I just pull over, take off the old one, put in the new one. No, it is not it's not great for your sensors, but if you're in that bad of a position, um, you gotta make the decision whether or not you want to screw the sensor and pay to have that replaced or be stuck on the side of the road somewhere dangerous where you're gonna get killed. You gotta make the decisions, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Plugs in a pump are awesome. That's the way we've been doing it for years. Right, David? That's how I was trained growing up, that we didn't have green slime when I was first driving. Gloves and extra jacket, yep, we talked about that. We talked about sensible shoes. Dry socks, there's nothing worse than having wet feet. Dry socks are always nice. Rubber gloves, just the normal rubber gloves, like medical gloves. Keep those in your first aid kit. Anybody think of anything else? I actually have a mat for that, David. I have this cool little mat that just unfolds and rolls under the car or, push it underneath the car if you have to change a tire. But I do keep those are great car gifts, like, for car people, those little mats. I do keep trash bags in the car, just because when we go to car shows, I'm that person that goes around and fields field cleans my area and everybody that was parked around me. So I keep a trash bag hanging off of one of our chairs, like a full-size kitchen trash bag. I'm super big into people not leaving trash. Leave the area better than the way you found it. It's not a bad idea to have, like, paper and a pen or a marker or one of those things that you can write on glass with. If you have to leave the car, a good thing to do is to leave some kind of a message on the side of the car so that if the, police or anybody like that comes along, they can see that um, you know, you're in straight, so they can start looking for you, like the window chalk. You can leave a message on there that says, like, what time, your car broke down at this time and you started walking at this time in this direction so that they know how to find you. You can leave a phone number if you actually have your phone, any kinda anything that will help them find you. Dry erase markers. I used to keep dry erase markers with me when I drove, for a limo company. Um, I did that so that if anything ever happened or if I could make notes on the side of my window for pickups and stops and stuff like that and just erase them off when I got to where I needed to be or whatever. That way I wasn't constantly looking for addresses. And then I also could, if I was in a situation where I thought the cargo that I had picked up was maybe iffy, I could write information on the side of the window, and if I was taken, my information was on the side of the window, so the police knew, who was in the car with me. Crazy, but, I'm a female driving around people I don't know. California, definitely leave your keys in your cars. I used to do that, I used to leave we don't do it here, but when I had the garages on my home, now we're in an apartment situation, so that's not even connected to the dwelling. I used to keep all the keys, a set of all the keys, one in the house and one in the garage. And I was doing that for a while. I was leaving Onyx's key in the garage, and Andy was like, "We probably shouldn't do that. Too many people might know how to get into these garages." So we stopped doing that. But if you're in a secure if your car is in a secure place, then definitely that makes it a lot easier to get everything out. Or have like a carabiner with all of the cars that are stored on that carabiner. So each garage has a carabiner. So if you have the house garage has a couple of cars in it, have those cars on that carabiner. And if there's a detached garage with cars in it, put those all on one. And that way you can just grab whichever and head for the garages and somebody can just start trying and you have them all on one key ring. We do that too, David. I think you saw that when we went on the one. No, you didn't, because 'cause you've never s no, yeah, you did, 'cause, Andy had the key to the car he was driving and also a key to the car I was driving. So he had Bagheera's key and Shamrock's key, and I had the same thing. You never know. You might thanks, Spider. You might lock the keys in the car and not be able to. I mean, dumber things have happened. We have locked the keys in the trunk and not been able to get into the car, and, Onyx, bless her heart, I love the shit out of that car, but Onyx locks herself. You think I'm kidding. 100% locks herself. She has locked me out of her on several occasions. So I now wear one of her keys on my person or have one in Andy's car if he's in a separate car, and have the one that I'm using to drive. So for some crazy reason, if she decides to do that, she started doing it when I moved to Oklahoma. I don't think she liked Oklahoma. She started doing it when I moved to Oklahoma, and I took her to a car wash, like one of the ones where you do it yourself. I took her to a car wash, and I left my purse, my phone, and the keys inside the car. Shut the car door to start spraying it down, and then I went to open the car to get my phone, and the whole car was locked, and I didn't lock it, which is crazy to me that she even locked with the car keys in it, but she did. She locked herself. I had no clue that she was doing that. I thought I did it. I don't know how I thought I did it, but I thought I did it. So I had OnStar at the time, but the car was in a car wash bay. So OnStar could not unlock my car because it had no direct route to the satellite. It was covered. So that was nuts. It really blew. And so this nice lady pulled in, this young girl pulled into the bay next to me, and I had to like walk over there and be like, "Hey, I know this is a crazy question, and I know you don't know me from Jack, but do you have a cell phone?" And she was like, "Of course." And I was like, "So listen, my everything is in that Camaro, and I need to call somebody to have them come out with my other set of keys because I can't get in it. Do you mind if I borrow your phone? I promise it's local. I called for I was literally right up the street. It would have taken me, like, probably 30 minutes to walk home. It was, like, maybe 7 miles away. I called for help and waited for about 20 minutes, and a friend of mine got into my house, got my keys, and came and got me, but still, I mean, what a pain in the butt. So I tell everybody I told Andy when I first met him and he drove the car for me across country, "Don't leave the key in the car because she will lock you out." He didn't believe me. She didn't do anything. She didn't do anything to you on your trip, did she? Yeah, he got home fine. But we were doing something to her shortly after, and we were standing there, and her doors were wide open, and she just went click, and all of her doors locked. And he was like, "Did you do that?" And I'm like, "Baby, you have the keys." She locked herself. He was like, "Holy, yep, yep." And she does it all the time. She does it at car shows. She does it in the garage. She just whenever she feels like it. So we cannot leave her keys in her ever, 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 never, because she will lock herself. All right, so you have a terry cloth tablecloth in your trunk. Jan, why is there a tablecloth in your trunk? Explain that. Oh, I totally hear you, G7. Totally, totally hear you. I was so messed up when all this, like, electronic mapping and all that stuff started. I could not get on board with that. I still had my atlas and my map books. I did not trust them. Totally, totally agree with you, and there are some cases where you get off grid, and if you don't have an atlas or a map, you done. You done, son. Alright. An extra key with me. Oh, well, yeah, and there's that too. You could break a key off, excuse me, in the in the ignition or in the door. I have actually been able to I have a whole trick for that, so maybe we'll do a segment on that, getting, broken keys out of stuff. I ran a storage place, so I was getting broken keys out of stuff every day. So there's all kinds of tricks to getting your key that part of the key out without ruining your Alright. Jan, in a parking lot of a very big shopping center. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, still wanna know what this tablecloth is. There it is. Tablecloth is bigger than the towel can use to cover leather interior. Okay. So, for, like, sunny for keep it from the sun? I mean, I guess you could lay on it too. That would work. Needle nose pliers do work to remove keys. There's also this, like, sticky stuff that you can stick on there, and it'll grab a hold of it, and it'll pull it out. It takes talent. You gotta do it a few times. You learn how to do it so that you can start to get it out because needle nose pliers can ruin the hole if you're not careful. So you use this, like it's almost like silly putty, but it's thicker and stickier, and you just stick it in there, and it pulls it out like chewing gum almost, like. So, works wonders. Done all kinds of stupid stuff to get keys, broken keys out of locks. You can use it to cover up contents in your car. Absolutely. Faux show. Or people will break in because they want to know what's behind door number 5. All right, guys. So that is my fun tips for how to keep yourself safe during the winter. If anybody has any other tricks, then or ways to keep your carload entertained, then I would love, love, love to hear about them. If anybody does anything that anybody that's watching, or even anybody that watches this after the fact, if anybody does anything different than the things that we've talked about on here tonight, please email us and let us know. Kitty litter for traction is a great trick. I used to carry kitty litter around in my big rig. And, that's great and no big deal, but I don't carry kitty litter in my daily driver or my Camaros. That is a great trick. Um, I carried it for several reasons. A, for traction if the vehicle got stuck, because it works in mud, it works in snow, it works on ice. And also if I had any leaks or any crazy things like that, it also is a hazmat situation. You can throw the kitty litter down, it soaks up whatever you leaked, and then you sweep it all up, put it in a bag, and take it with you, and ta-da! You don't have to call hazmat. But it is not. It takes up a lot of space, and it's not really easy to carry because you need a lot of it. But if you ever get stuck somewhere, and nothing else works, and you're near somewhere where you can get your hands on that, or you can drive somewhere and get it and come back, that is a nice, easy way to try to get yourself out. And happy day if you have a big enough vehicle that you can carry a whole bag of kitty litter with you. That's awesome. I don't. I mean, I guess I could put it in the back of the truck, but I don't. But kitty litter is amazing. Salt's another thing, if you can carry salt with you. Salt can melt whatever is underneath your tires. Before you start digging yourself into the ground, you can melt the snow and ice around your tires with salt and then just drive away. But I've found that um, the tire track mats work really well. So, all right, guys. So back to what I was saying. If for whatever reason you do something that is super awesome, um, and maybe you didn't think it was super awesome, but we might find it to be super awesome, and you're watching this back and you're like, oh, they didn't mention what I do. Please email us and let us know what that is. And we'll talk about it on one of our next episodes. We'll just bring it up and talk about the emails that came in, because anything out there that can help all of us be safe on the road and get from A to B and keep our cars safe, keep our passengers safe, and keep everybody on the road around us safe is perfect. So, um, please, 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 nothing is stupid. If you do something or you have some road tricks, please let us know. We'll do this again in the summer when it starts to get hot, and we will talk about the things that you can remove out of your car that we talked about today and replace with other things for hot weather. So that's pretty much it. I know I can feel my voice leaving me right now. I'm not completely like back to normal from being sick. So we're just under an hour, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Thank you everybody so much for jumping on and watching. And of course, there's the like button and the subscribe button if you like what you see and hear when you're hanging out with us on the cave. We will see you Wednesday. Um, watch your notifications because we are going to a Christmas party Saturday. So you never know. Andy is notorious for just randomly throwing lives out. So he may be having so much fun that he may just jump on and have like a random live. I know that we're going to have like a Camaro Cave table with a bunch of you guys there. So there is the good possibility that that could very well happen from our table. So thank you so much. Oh, look, Mama. My mama is there. Um, so thank you so much, guys, for coming on. And as always, keep the faith, wear your seatbelts, peace and love. We'll see you next Wednesday or maybe Saturday. Baby, how does this end? I got it.